prices slide.
What's up, everybody? Activ8 Days. Cory here.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Activ8 Radio. And we're here to activate your mind while we entertain and educate. And today is the first episode that's powered by Reebok, our new sponsor. Hold on, here it is. And John and I are pumped up, D-Bro.
Air pumping, brother. Forget the air guitar, I'm air pumping.
So listen, we got some great new stuff going on. We got a new sponsor, one of many sponsors that I believe will come onto the show, John, right?
The first of many. We'd like to thank them. You know, the one thing that I'd like to say is we talk about the steps we go in, the progress, the numbers, how they keep climbing, and the family keeps spreading the word. Well, this is affirmation that you guys are helping us grow. We have a huge sponsor in Reebok that is a supporter of us, and it's going to be the first of many. But in all honesty, I think it was spurred by a relationship that you have, Cory. So I think you should kind of officially tell everybody what's going on between you and Reebok.
Yeah, you know what? I'm super excited about this relationship for multiple reasons. And, you know, I was always friendly with Reebok when I was at Muscle Farm. We sent up some product. We had a few athletes that crossed over. They sent some product down to me. And it was just kind of a natural fit that when I walked away, and I purposely wrote in my non-compete that I could have a clothing sponsor because I knew that I believed Reebok would be interested. That was kind of a vision of mine to work with a company. Yeah, that's kind of one of my visions, to work with a company of this stature. And they saw value in my personality within the fitness community. They saw value in me being in this teaching, master trainer, athlete type of role. And they really came to me and said, how can we support you? You gave us a lot of exposure with the Squat Every Day program. And you've always, you know, I wore their lifters on the cover of a couple magazines. Like I've just, you know, they've been giving me love. I've been giving it back. And it was time to do an official ambassador type partnership. And dude, I'm 37. I'm feeling blessed. Like I get treated like a pro athlete, Johnny.
37 years young. You know what I'm saying?
And
you said something right there that I think is very interesting and should be very gratifying is, you know, you're in the category with pro athletes, and no disrespect at all, obviously. You're not a pro athlete, quote unquote, but you're there, and we just got to give it to you because it's surely a product of hard work.
Yeah, thanks, Johnny. It's just, look, no boundaries, man. That's like hanging out with Arnold. Like, that's the kind of things I grab from him, and like, I really don't put boundaries on myself. So, you know,
Absolutely.
Walking away from Muscle Farm, walking into a legit contract with Reebok, I'm pretty proud of it, man. But I will tell you, one of the stories that, and I think it's cool, that means a lot to me with the Reebok sponsorship is when D Brown, that's why I got these lovely original D Browns in 91, 92, won the dunk contest with above average dunk, but the theatrics were amazing.
He covered his eyes.
Yeah, been a great publicity for Reebok. I wanted, and that's like 91, 92. I wanted those fucking shoes so bad. And
dude, me too.
Dude, everybody did, right? And there's no question that my mom couldn't afford them, my dad couldn't afford them, and you know, there's kids down the street that had them, and I mean, I was jealous as shit. I'm not gonna lie. But those are the kind of things that drive me. Now, right now, Reebok hasn't re-released these in a while. It took me a little while to find them, but I wanted to make sure the day that I signed my deal, walked into the corporate office, that I was wearing these bad boys for that exact reason, that I couldn't afford them when I was a kid, but the work that I put in and the vision, it was like a full circle deal that I'm walking in and they're paying me.
Things have changed.
It felt amazing. So it was a very proud moment in my little athlete career. So a lot of new things going on, though, John. Share some other stuff we got going.
Well, listen, you guys are going to get a start to finish look at what we're doing next. We're like Apple here. We can't reveal exactly what we're doing, but we will tell you this. One, we're embarking on an amazing new project that's going to be an amazing new business. We are working with a world-renowned design house that we're collaborating with to create a recognizable household brand that people will want to represent. And we're working with a world-class manufacturing facility as well on the product that we are preparing to put out. So what you guys are hearing now is what we're doing to prepare to release a product, brand, although we're not going to tell you what the product or the brand is yet. And you're going to see, as long as you guys keep tuning in like you do, thank you, every step of the way. So I think this is I would love to be able to watch a startup go from concept to release to success. And that's what you guys are going to have the ability to do. So stay tuned.
John,
you got that, Core. I know you're excited.
Can I be involved?
Can you be involved?
Just kidding. I think, hey, no, it's going to be lights out, and that's the key. And I think y'all that know me for a long time, you've been following my stuff. Like, I only do things one way. John only does things one way. So we got some fire for you guys, and it'll be coming out soon. And so, you know, some of the members at CoryGFitness.com have been asking lots of questions, trying to get it out of me, John.
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of people have been asking a lot of questions at Cory G Fitness beyond.
Yes.
And I think I'll give them one clue. We are going to meet their need.
Yes.
That's our clue. That's
100%. 100%. Hey, we got some, we've had some interesting new shows that are not quite released yet, but we've been working on for the Activ8 Media YouTube. And one of them is this hot seat concept that I kind of came up with some college students that hit me up, and there's about 5 of them, and they basically sit in the seat as we're FaceTiming like this, and you know, they fire off some questions, very like nonchalant, but Q&A, and I don't know what's coming at me, and man, the content's juicy, right? I really like it. And so
that's what I like about it, Core, is that you don't know what's coming at you, and I think that's kind of part of the bedrock of our show is always be prepared for even what you don't know what's coming. And I think that is the unique part of, you know, this hot seat idea that's growing into a full-blown piece of content.
Yeah, so John, my question is, are you ready for the hot seat?
Motherfucker, I was born ready for any seat.
Okay.
You can spray cold water on me. Dump ice. Come on, Core.
All right, so 3 questions for John Fosco. Number 1, what's your favorite thing to do, John?
Favorite thing to do, bar none. I'm a music lover, as I think people are starting to figure out. I love music, and for me, there's nothing more enjoyable than going to see one of the bands I love live in person. And it is such an emotional experience. It's such an escape from the daily grind, and I have a very hard time escaping, like I've talked about many times, and balancing. So for me, it's going to see a live show and going to see some good live music.
Number 2, favorite sports team. You only get to pick one.
Bro, I don't know if anyone's heard of a little Saturday Night Live skit called The Bears.
Over the Bulls, huh, Johnny?
Yeah, I mean, Chicago is a Bears town. Obviously, Michael Jordan's Michael Jordan, but overall, it's a Bears town.
Okay.
And football is king here, and the 85 Bears will live in infamy.
Yeah, no doubt. And what, number 3, you've got a lot of them. What's your favorite T-shirt?
That one's actually that one's actually pretty easy. Well, I think in the future it will be a Reebok T-shirt due to Reebok.
Yeah.
Now, but my favorite T-shirt at this point is it's this V-neck I bought. I thought when I bought it, maybe due to the lighting, it was red, but it's actually more pink, and I don't wear much pink. But, you know, it fits nice and all this, and every time I wear it, man, I got new friends coming up, introducing themselves to me. Hey, how you doing? So, and those friends are female friends, which which are great, which are fantastic. They're terrific.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, my pink V-neck, which I will try to support for everyone on the next podcast.
Nice. I like to see the one that's shutting it down in the club, John.
Not in the clubs. I don't love club life.
Yeah.
Baby.
Yep.
But it's shutting it down when I walk out that door. That's all I know.
All right, Johnny, your turn. Bring it on.
Are you ready? I see the big seat you're in, but the question is, are you ready for the heat?
Is it hot? My metabolism's pretty fired up, John. What I'm
I
thinking.
believe that. Cory Gregory.
Yes.
When was your first relationship with a girl? What was her name?
My first real girlfriend was a girl by the name of Brianne Bendel, who was my neighbor. I lived on a road that had about 7 or 8 kids that were around my age, and 2 of them were girls. Both of them were very pretty, very athletic, and I chased both of them. Brianne I think I took roses to her doorstep in 6th grade. So I was serious. And I chased her for a couple years, and then after I couldn't catch her, or kind of caught her, I then chased the other one for the rest of my high school career. So I pretty much was, I was probably the annoying kid. Check this out. I was the kid who thought he had muscles, who wore wife beaters constantly, who lived in the trailer at the beginning of the road. So I bet everybody's dad loved me.
Yeah. Did you ever end up shutting it down?
If they only knew, John.
Did you ever end up closing the deal?
Nope. I can say with either of them.
Oh, Cory!
Well, I was a good boy, Johnny. I was a good boy.
All right, fair enough. I'm going to try to go away from good boy and say, what's the most trouble you've ever gotten to in your life, let's say 21 and under?
The most trouble I almost got into was I had a bad problem with stealing road signs as a kid.
That's good. That's pretty epic.
Yeah, that was what I hung on my wall. I didn't hang posters. I hung stop signs and Amish crossing signs, being from the country. And I think on a rendezvous one night, which could have included alcohol or not sure, we were stealing some signs in a little bit too highly populated area. And my buddy looked at me and goes, I don't have a good feeling about this. I think we should dip. Couple of us dipped. The couple that did not dip ended up in handcuffs, and us hiding in an embankment and watching from afar, and their parents had to come get him as a big fucking fiasco. And I don't think I was able to drive yet, so I think I was probably like maybe 15, almost 16. But yeah, I mean, I was known for, like, you came to my house, and if I needed your phone number or whatever, you wrote it on my stop sign in my room. Like, that's how I had everybody's numbers on my sign. I have this.
That's amazing.
I have to find it. I'm pretty sure I still have it somewhere, actually. Just kind of.
That's amazing.
Kind of random. I'm a felon.
Okay, you're no felon. we're going to close you out with, I know we have a similar mindset on, not really believing in regret, learning from our past, let's say, wrongdoings. But if you have any regret in life, what would you say it is?
So in high school, I only played basketball through all my years, and I was on the lifting team too. And it's really because, we were pretty poor and I had to work. So what I really wish I would have done is I quit baseball as a freshman because I absolutely hated the coach, and that shouldn't have been the reason why. He kept changing my swing, kept jacking me up, and I'd go back in the summer ball and I would kill it. And that was definitely by far my best sport. And football, my freshman year, I quit because we had consolidated high schools, and I was about an hour away from practice. So I had to bus all the way to practice, bus all the way home. And honestly, that took away work time from I was working on a farm at that time. I was doing multiple things. And so I wish I would have went to both coaches and like a man and just said, look, man, 2 days a week, because I knew I could have started in both sports. If you want me still, and I hope that you do, I'm going to have to work twice a week. And that's just the way it is. But I got it. I'm not a freak, but I'm an athlete, and so I wish I would have tried to come up with a solution, which you're really good at, John. I've enjoyed working with you on things like that. There's always a solution instead of, and that's a maturity thing, instead of just saying, you know what, this guy's a dick, which he was in baseball, and I still kind of feel that way. And the football guy should have just leveled with him. I honestly think I probably could have played both, and I think I would. So I don't have a lot of regrets, but those are one that I wish I would have ran out in Friday Night Lights. So when I have my twice a year that I play in my flag football with 10 or 15 OSU Buckeyes and all these guys, I enjoy it because of that.
You know, what's funny is like your regret is rooted in those high school years. And I have a similar situation. I played high school basketball, and I was a sophomore playing on varsity, and my coach, he was a gym teacher, and I was in gym class one day, and we had a game that night, and he came up to me as class was ending, and he asked me if I was ready for the game. And I said, hey, hell yeah, I'm ready for the game. And then as I was walking away, he slapped me on my butt, and like he grabbed it in a very inappropriate way. And
Copped a field.
What's up?
He copped a field?
No, it was beyond that.
Okay.
Like, and I had an idea that he possibly might have been homosexual, which I'm fine with as long as you respect boundaries.
Sure.
But he crossed mine. And when he grabbed me, I swung around and tried to hit him with like a spinning back elbow, if you will. But he got out of the way. And then I told him if he touched me again, I'd kill him.
Yeah.
And I quit on the spot. And I was this close to knocking him out. But I also I let somebody else take basketball away from me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But here's something that's interesting. 6 years after I graduated high school, this guy was arrested for molesting one of his players. So he got his.
He got his. So you weren't like making this up. It was real.
Oh no, he got his. Yep.
Wow. But you know what sucks is that as older adults, we let somebody else's behaviors take those like really some of the best times of people's lives away.
Exactly.
So that is one of the things that when I go to a high school football game, I just shake my head. And it's not because I thought I was going to be a college standout football player. It has nothing. It's the camaraderie of the locker room.
Right, and the experience.
Yeah.
Man.
The experience of scoring a touchdown and it being on the local news. That's it. So,
yeah.
You know, that's one thing that I always tell kids, like, they're trying to specialize in this sport or that. Like, man, just have fun.
Exactly.
You're going to the league is so small anyway. Just go have fun, man. So that's
enjoy yourself, man. You know
how parallel that is, John, with both of us.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. So we got a couple weird kind of people that have just passed in the last 24 hours. You know, and one I had actual personal kind of story about, and one that we both are kind of like, you know, was just an interesting character. So we're going to start on Prince first. We just found out that Prince passed away, right?
Yeah, Prince, he passed away yesterday, and he, like him or dislike him, there is absolutely no doubt this man was a musical genius.
Yeah, no question.
I didn't dig him, but he's a musical genius and must be respected for his level of musical prowess. You know?
Yeah.
So,
well, and it's like, and I wasn't like, I never bought a Prince album or, you know, a download, but the 7 song was kind of catchy, and he had the Purple Rain, I think maybe. Like, there was a couple that were just in the media a lot. And dude, he became a sign for a little while. I don't know if you remember that. Like, he didn't have a name.
Oh yeah, I mean that's ego running.
Yeah. So I mean,
I'm not a name. I'm a symbol.
Yeah.
Okay, dude.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So I mean, he was definitely a character. There's no doubt. And I think if you're a musician, you probably have a different feel for Prince than maybe we do, I would say, right?
Exactly, because he was a pure artist.
Yeah, no question.
Left brain, right brain. Those guys think and see the world differently than us.
Well,
I'm not going to say it's wrong, but it's different.
Yeah, so we'll say, hey, R.I.P. Prince, you offered a lot to the world, there's no doubt. Next was the wrestler Sergeant Slaughter's daughter, Chyna. So
big woman.
Big woman. And I was telling
Cory, I know you had an incident with her.
I had an incident.
I think you should share it.
Okay, so I think it's like the year 2001. I got asked to be in a model contest in Aruba, right? So, and it's going to be aired on ETV. So I think I'm big time. So I get down there and our celebrity host is Chyna. And so I got to spend a little bit of time with her. There's like maybe 15 people in this contest. Well, they come up with this skit. Now she's weighing about $185, $190. He, whatever. And I'm like probably 165. I'm little because I'm not that big of a guy. And so they do a skit where we run at her and she hip tosses us. Literally.
Oh boy.
So here I go. They say, No, ETV. I mean, legit. I watched it on ETV like 3 months later. It was on like 2 in the morning. I mean, it wasn't a big broadcast.
Sure.
I run at China, and she WWF throws me over her shoulder in the sand like I'm a rag doll.
Epic.
And so it hurt. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit. She fucking tossed me, and I get up like I do like a roll and get up. But I'm thinking like when I watched it back, it looked like I was like my son who's 5 years old.
Well, you know what? China was a WWE character for quite some time. She had a lot of fans, and she had a troubled life, I believe, and rest in peace. Respect to the family and all that.
Yeah. Speaking of troubled life, we're gonna go into sports. One's really troubled and one's really smart. Johnny Manziel loses his Nike deal. What do you think about that? I mean, had to happen, right?
Yeah, it's very simple. The way we talked, we just spoke about how we let others control our destiny when we were in high school. I know Johnny Manziel, once he reaches a certain point in his life, hopefully sooner than later, is going to look back on his behavior, the way he chose to interact and really not give a shit.
Yep.
And regret it severely. And the difference between Johnny Manziel and obviously me and you is he is on the biggest of big stages with the highest of stakes, and he is really hurting himself from a standpoint and the opportunity to play. I mean, this guy, he needs help. He needs help.
Yeah, I know. And I believe Maurice reached out to him too to say, hey, dude, I went through this. Like, let me help a brother out. It doesn't seem like anybody can get through to him. And I'll tell you, he fooled me, bro. I was around him for an entire day. I interviewed him. It never came out because of the whole Muscle Farm fiasco. But he says everything you want to hear, John, in person. And
Cory,
I watched him interact with kids at a football camp. It was awesome. He has it. Just choose
It's like a drug addict, right? There's so many drug addicts who you could say, my God, they seem normal, and they do, but they have that problem. Johnny has some kind of problem, and I don't know what exactly it is, but it's severe, and he needs the same kind of help like an addict needs help. I mean, it's that kind of problem.
Yeah, and it's at that level at this point too, or past that level. It was a really good idea for him to be roommates with Josh Gordon, right?
Oh boy, yeah. How about it?
All right, next subject. What's up with your boy Connor? Was this a negotiation tactic saying? So first of all, I'm at Reebok, right? Reebok is one of his main sponsors. He tweets, which gets 200,000 retweets. Thanks for the cheese, everybody. I'm retiring. Even Reebok retweets it with a face like, huh? Like, what was he doing, John?
What he's doing is, and you got to kind of be in the game, the MMA game, the UFC game, to understand what he's really doing. Is the UFC has thrived and grown to amazing heights as a business because the product and the name and the brand is stronger than any fighter. That is the business model. Okay, you order a UFC pay-per-view because it's a UFC pay-per-view, typically not because it's so-and-so for so-and-so. That's the model, right? Well, Conor McGregor and the UFC contributed to this strongly, was created. He was put on this pedestal. His second fight, I was there in Boston, right? He was on the undercard fighting Max Holloway. It was his second fight. He was on the poster, okay, of the event. The dude's on the undercard, right?
Yeah.
Everywhere he went, he flew around on Lorenzo's private jet. So what happened is they told him, basically through action, you're a star.
And he delivered on top of it.
And then when he went and delivered it, he saw, this is what makes him very smart, the way they threw their weight around and the way they leveraged their power. And he said, I just smashed it, win or loss, smashed it on the pay-per-view numbers. Twice in a row now. I want more money. UFC 200, the UFC already announced it. Conor versus Nate is the headliner. It's supposed to be the biggest event ever, right? What would be worse than publicly losing your headliner? Nothing. So just like I compare it to a football player in minicamp, he said, you know what? I ain't showing up. Peace. I'm out. And he went a step further and he said, I'm retiring. Now, if you're the UFC, beyond the PR bruises you're taking for losing this, you are getting flexed on. He is flexing on you publicly. He ain't retiring at 27 years old. It had nothing to do with retirement. This had everything to do with, I have more leverage than you, and I'm going to prove it.
Power struggle.
And he did prove it. So now publicly, he's saying, well, I want to do my media obligations later. You know, I'll still fight at UFC 200. Okay? All that means is that the UFC finally got a hold of him because he wouldn't answer his phone, right? Which is, again, a sales tactic.
Absolutely.
Smart guy. And then once he finally answered the phone, I will be willing to bet they said, hey, we'll throw this money at you. Well, just take our money. Just take more. Just take more. And he said, okay, thanks. Okay, bye. And then they said, all you have to do is publicly say you just didn't want to do media and everything's good. You know, actually, you know, not to go too far on it, but a guy from MMA Junkie called me yesterday. He goes, Johnny, what's your take on what's going on? I said, here's my take. Conor McGregor will be back in the UFC in less than 3 days. That's my take.
Yeah.
All this is negotiation. And he was like, they're too iron-fisted. But I think what we saw for the first time ever was a fighter flex on the establishment and win.
Well, and what's interesting is I saw Conor tweeted that, and Dana was already answering ESPN. Like, and he had to. So, I mean, he couldn't get away from it. So, you know, like, that had to be, like, burning them up. But
hardcore I call it hardcore capitalism. It's like, live by the sword, die by the sword. But nobody died. All he did is, to be honest, is he got a better deal. And you can make an argument all day long that he deserves more money than anyone ever. So, you know what? I think it was an amazing public display of when you have the power, what you can do with it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm just saying that's what happened.
But I agree with you, though. I think it was a smart move. Speaking of power struggles, it's time for the Trump Minute, John. Tell us about Trump in New York.
So Donald wiped the floor with Ted Cruz in the New York primary.
Not even close.
Not even close. Ted Cruz got 0 delegates. There was 96 delegates at stake. Donald got like 91. I think Kasich got 5.
Okay.
And what that did was it took all the Republican talking heads on TV, all the experts, all the pundits, and it made them basically converge on one message. And that message is, if the establishment, if the Republican National Committee does not give Trump the nod, they are going to create anarchy in the party, and it must be given to Trump. So I think what we're looking at, and I saw Bill O'Reilly say this last night. He said, what we've just witnessed with Donald Trump, he said, next to John Kennedy being assassinated, this is the biggest political story of his lifetime. And Bill O'Reilly's the #1 in news. Yeah. And to think that a guy who's going into a rigged game, politics is a rigged game, guys.
Yeah.
It's a rigged game, has no connections. And he goes and he takes the nomination of the most, good old boys club party, which is the Republican Party, it's absolutely stunning. People do not understand how amazing it is. So that's what's going on with Trump. He has defied the odds once again, and he's proven that he's a winner. Like him or hate him, he knows how to win.
So I'm going to bring you a would you rather, John. So we're going to stay with the Johnnies, because I got a Johnny right here. Would you rather be, I'm going to throw you 3. I'm going to take one of them back. Johnny Football, Jon Bones Jones, or Johnny Bench? Super random.
I'm going to go with Jon Bones Jones, and I'll tell you why. Because if I screw my head on straight and stop with all the BS outside the cage, I can bar none, go down in history as the best fighter of all time and showcase another level of skill that I've yet to showcase because I would live a clean lifestyle and I also would, get paid a lot of money doing it. So Jon Bones Jones, without a doubt, because he has the ability to clean his life up and just take over the MMA world, period.
Yeah, I would agree with you because I think Johnny could clean his life up. Johnny Bones Jones could clean his life up 75% and probably still be the best that ever lived. And no one will even even be able to dispute it, John. I think it'll be that drastically different. People used to talk about GSP. People have talked about other people in the category. I think John's separation is way bigger than even Anderson Silva's was. Don't you think?
Oh, dude, Anderson Silva could not wrestle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anderson Silva never really destroyed a wrestler. He fought Chael Sonnen and almost got destroyed the first fight. So Jon Bones Jones is the definition of a complete mixed martial artist. He's long, he's strong, and there's never been a fighter anywhere near as dangerous or as complete as Jon Bones Jones.
So next, John, it's time for some fitness tips. I'm gonna give you a flex right here, flexing in the camera.
Cory, I want a double bicep, not a single, brother.
Boom, Johnny! I'm about to give him a double bicep in a couple days on stage.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah. Getting ready for the Muscle Trifecta.
Yeah, dude, I can tell your face is looking, like the water's coming out. And are you ready? Because it's not going to be easy, dude. It's not going to be easy, brother.
Yeah, you know what? I'm really excited. So, tomorrow is the first day of the Trifecta. This is our Friday podcast, but we had to do it a little bit early because tomorrow I start competing. Tomorrow is the Olympic lifting meet, which is the one I'm the most novice at. So I'm just trying to make it through it. The numbers would be great, but make it through it without injury, get a couple good numbers on snatch and clean and jerk. And then I believe the bodybuilding show starts at noon on Saturday. My body weight, I'll have to drop just a little bit more water weight. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty lean. Saw some glute fibers coming out, John. Watch out.
Glute fibers in the house.
Glute fibers. So overall, man, I'm feeling good. But one of the tips I want to give today is I have a lot of people on social media ask me all the time, I have lower back problems. My lower back's weak. My lower back hurts. What do I do? And so I'm going to tell you that I would say 90% of the time when people have lower back problems, it's not their back. Now, some people that have disc problems, that's real. I'm not going to say it's not. But even the people that have disc problems need to listen. When men get older, especially, they get bigger bellies.
Keep going, bro. I gotta plug in and get.
Oh, I will. That's fine. When men get older, they get bigger bellies and they lose their ass. And what happens is you start to get a little bit of a hormone shift from more estrogen and less testosterone. The way that you counterbalance that is by training your fucking legs, which is your biggest body part, and what also keeps your ass and your quads and your hamstrings from atrophying. So what happens is when you're sedentary, when you don't do leg workouts, when you sit a lot, the lower posterior chain gets extremely weak. And part of the reasons why I like lunges so much is because it strengthens your glutes, it strengthens your quads, it strengthens your hamstrings, and what by default, that is why your lower back hurts, because from your lower back to the back of your kneecap is probably weak as shit. And so instead of being worried about your lower back, most of the time it's something completely different you're not even thinking about. Every time in the past, previously doing lunges all the time, that my lower back hurt, if I would do a set of lunges with some dumbbells and I would get up the next day and my glutes would be extremely sore, my lower back wouldn't hurt at all. So I would say the one tip that you should grab from this is that make sure if your lower back is a problem, that it's probably not your lower back. You need to go downstream. It's probably your hamstrings. It's probably your glutes. It's
downstream.
Got to go downstream. So keep in mind, if you're somebody whose back is hurting right now, I would recommend, if you do not have a diagnosed disc problem, to start, even if it's 1 minute a day, a proper walking lunge, and I guarantee you,
good advice,
that your lower back issue will probably go away. I mean, dead serious. It becomes, I talked to my chiro today, my PT guy that helps me out. He said most of the people that walk in the door, their glutes are weak or shut off, their lower back hurts. There's no support. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Now that Johnny's back, Johnny, did you get anything in your direct message this week? Helping out some people with a famiglia out there with some of the addiction stuff.
I did. I get more and more, and what I wanted to address today is more like a theme.
Okay.
Because, addressing addiction and addressing specific scenarios is one thing, but the one thing that I kind of want to touch on, and I've been thinking a lot about it because I think about how I became addicted. I didn't become addicted because I was with the wrong crowd or anything. I was straight edge. I exercised a lot. I was an athlete. I just tore my pec, and I had a doctor that overprescribed, and that was that. So I just kind of want to talk to people and just kind of make a statement to everyone. It doesn't matter if you're older, younger, and just be mindful of your friends and family when they go through any kind of medical procedure or dental procedure, and just, I guess be a little nosy on what they are taking in accordance with it, because addicts do not become addicts all the time. And now because of prescription drugs, most of the time, because they're running with the wrong crowd. Addicts become addicts because they get blindsided by a doctor who doesn't appropriately explain to them the danger of this synthesized heroin that they're being prescribed. So, just a little tip, guys, just talk to your friends and family, and really, really try to have a non-judgmental conversation with them if and when they get prescribed any kind of narcotic painkillers, because like we talked about, the solution to this problem, it has many arms, but one way we can start pushing those numbers down is by becoming a little tougher, right? Taking Advil, taking Tylenol. If you get your teeth pulled, you don't need Vicodin. You don't need heroin, guys. Okay? You just take a Tylenol. I've torn my bicep before, right? When I tore my bicep, I had already recovered from addiction. And that pain was, you guys don't even understand the pain of tearing a bicep, having it get reattached to the tendon and the muscle. And I did not take a narcotic painkiller, okay? And that pain, it doesn't get any worse. So let's be mindful of our friends and family, and let's just care a little more, and let's pay attention.
Cool. John, it's money time. It's money time.
Make it rain then, Cory.
Oh. I've never done that, so ever, for real.
I have.
I'm guessing. You have anything you want to share on the business/money topics with the familiar?
It's funny. We were talking to some people today, doing some negotiations on a deal that we'll talk about later. But it made me realize that everybody, in some way, shape, or form, if you're in business, does some form of sales. If you're doing sales directly, that's fine. If you're interacting with people, you're selling yourself every day. And I think a common mishap in the sales process is the thought that it revolves around money or cost. It doesn't. I'll give you a perfect scenario. And I've only had a couple of these in my life because nothing's perfect. But a perfect sales scenario is you sell the value of a product or service. The value, guys, not the price. I won't say car salesmen sell price, but I've used that before. That's actually not fair to car salesmen.
Yeah.
But sell the value.
Dude, doctors and car salesmen are not going to like you anymore, John.
You know what? The doctors who are prescribing that shit, this is what I say to them.
Go ahead.
Doctors. So I'll say that to them. But anyways, if we sell on value, guys, a lot of times what happens is we control the conversation and we get whoever we're trying to sell. They ask questions about it's going to do this. And then by the time the money comes, it's a foregone conclusion that they are going with the product. And then it's kind of like, okay. It's this much. It's not like, all right, what's the price, right? If you open with price, then it's an up-down price battle. If you sell value, then people accept that they need it, and then they expect to pay a price. So that's kind of my little tip of the day on sales. Value, 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 value.
When people lead with the price, you've already lost.
It's weak. They've lost.
You've already lost me because I'm only thinking about that. And I think I told the story about how when I did the deal with the Cavs, the guy knew that I was going to flip to the back of the PDF, so he just put it up front to go at it. But he preferenced everything before I looked at it for the same regards because I needed to know the value that was there before I already had a preconceived notion if it was worth it.
And that's why us as a business, Activ8, when we're selling our digital services, everyone knows who's done business with us. We do not include prices in proposals. We are proposing value to you.
Yeah.
We can talk about price, but we need to talk about value because we are here to make you money. So we do not include pricing in our proposal. And most people would think, what? That's what a proposal is for. Not us.
I want to bring up one thing, John, that I know we've both been working on that balance stuff, right? And the other night, I had texted you about doing the podcast, and you initially said, hey, I'm going out with my mom, and I'll be back, and I'll be able to do the podcast. And, and I've had the same thing when I'm doing stuff with the kids. And you texted me something, and I thought that was really good. I want to share. You said, I'm having such quality time with my moms. Let's do it tomorrow. And I don't know if that's a normal action for you or not, but I feel like it's something you've gotten better at and that I'm trying to get better at. And look, we're still doing the podcast. It's still awesome. Right. But we just prolonged it because you didn't want to take away that time from a person that's so valuable to. So one, I wanted to give you kudos, John.
Thank you.
And just wanted to kind of mention that, if that's going on in your life right now, you should recognize it. And we're both trying to get better at it. So I don't know. Share what was going through your head. I mean, you just didn't want to leave the situation, right?
I mean,
you didn't want to hang out with me.
Yeah, exactly. My mom, my mom's 70. She lives alone. All she has is her children, and she doesn't. One of her children lives in a different state. I live in Chicago right now, and for her, that's her everything, right? Yep. So if we're having a good time and my mom is enjoying it, again, she's 70, right? I got to be realistic.
Yeah.
The clock is running, and God bless, she's in good shape and all that stuff, but I didn't want to interrupt it. And I think 5-10 years ago, I would have. Yep. I would have because business. But like you said, we were able to do both. You know what I'm saying? And that's what matters.
Yeah, and you can. That's the thing. Like, you can. And so that's been, I think that's been cool, just seeing that evolution with both of us, I think.
Sure.
We'll be much happier. Don't you agree, John?
Without a doubt.
Anyway, I want to bring that up. I want to close with one thing, and then I'll let you kind of wrap it up, John. I've been rocking this new necklace, which is people can kind of see like it's just it looks just like a shiny silver type of thing. What this is my grandfather's dog tag from World War II. Now, thank God he's still alive. He's almost 90, and I've got a really cool interview with him that we're going to release in the new life section for Activ8 Media here soon. But I thought it was really meaningful. Like, that was a big part of his life. He was 17. He signed up early for the military. He went and represented in World War II. He's still able to articulate a lot of those stories, which I captured on video, which I'll cherish forever, and we're going to release here soon. And, I took kind of like I would say like a trendier necklace that I used to wear that used to have a Muscle Farm logo on it, and put my granddad's dog tag from World War II. So if you see the pictures, you can't tell what it is. That's what it is. I'm pretty proud of it, and you'll be seeing me rock it, probably with wife beaters this summer.
That's awesome.
I think it's cool. So wrap us up, Johnny. What a great show.
I love that you brought up your grandfather, and you're going to get, because of that, you're going to get a 5-second pause, and I'm going to be right back with something.
Uh-oh.
Right here. Don't worry. I didn't die. So your grandfather gave you that. I never got to meet any of my grandfathers, but my grandmother was very important to me. She died when I was 15, and this right here is the cross that was on her coffin, and I was one of the pallbearers.
Okay.
And I keep this cross on the table that we're filming this thing on. It sits here every day, but as before we lowered her down, I said, fuck it, and I ripped the cross off the top of the coffin, and this is hers. You know, this is what she was put into before she went in the ground. My grandmother was the one that always told me. She just said, you know what? You have something special. She goes, you piss me off a lot, John. You piss me off a lot. But she's like, nobody's going to stop you. Nobody can. She's like, you're 5 years old and no one can stop you. She's like, don't let anyone ever stop you.
She knew it, Johnny.
She knew it. She called it. And I look at this every day. And it means so much to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like yours means so much to you. And what I would say is, you know, we're talking about, Cory and I both talked about personal interactions, and those, as we go through life, are the most valuable things, and the interactions that we get to have peripherally, right, with the famiglia, are also so valuable to me. I did an Activ8 Daily the other day where I just talked about how I was happier, and I thank everybody for interacting with us the way they do. So, you know, we announced a sponsor today. There's a sponsor for something that basically Reebok was created because we thought we should do something while our website was being built. Now, here we are with a movement of people that was built on interaction, and respect, and dignified interaction, and we're gonna keep pushing this envelope. And Reebok, to me, is a signifier of, okay, guys, you're on the right path. Keep doing what you're doing. And then all you guys that are hitting us up on Instagram and everywhere, you guys are also a signifier. You guys are symbols, and we love you guys. So we're going to keep doing our thing. We're going to keep busting ass, and you guys are going to get the ability to watch us build this brand and our next brand.
Yeah.
And the next brand, all you guys are waiting for. Cory knows it. I know it.
Yeah.
So we're excited as hell. It's Friday,
Yeah.
right?
It's Friday. Hey,
it's Friday,
one more thing. Watch the Trifecta this weekend. I'm going to be on Snapchat.
Yes.
I'm going to be on Instagram, Twitter. I'll be putting it out. Check this out.
Yeah.
Right now, when you're watching this video, you're listening to it, I want you to text, text one friend the link to this to watch it, because this was a really powerful episode. I'm super proud of it. Text them. Tell them to check out Activ8 Media. If you're on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating. Only a fucking positive comment. No other bullshit than that. And you know what? Just help us spread the word, because this thing's growing. It's
Subscribe to YouTube, baby.
Our
YouTube channel's building up, guys.
You gotta subscribe.
Hit the button, man.
Hit the button. So, all right, wrap
I'm
us
gonna
up.
cry.
Wrap us up.
So listen, we are Activ8 Media, and we're about to be Activ8 Media, and oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say the other brand name. And you just watched Activ8 Radio and listened to Activ8 Radio. And thank you guys. Have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. And we will see you Monday.